everyone, Lana here at Yoga by Blisstopia. Well, I'm actually at home for an afternoon off of work. But what do I do when I'm not at the studio or at our clubs? I'm still working because it doesn't feel like work to me. I love what I do and I have a passion for it, so it never feels like work. Anyway, hey, what does humble pie taste like? Well, this is what I was thinking when I was driving home. Humble pie at first can taste really sour, and it could even taste bitter at first when you first bite into that humble pie. And then as you move through the taste, it starts to taste a little bit sweet, because we set our ego aside. And so it can be a beautiful thing to be able to move through all the taste palette of a humble pie. I was thinking in our daily life we go through so many humbling experiences. Anything from if you are physically hurt, I could tell you stories about that, but I'm sure everyone has their own pain story. So I won't go into detail about that, but I was thinking in my doula work, I was at a birth at a hospital, and I was with a doula client of mine who was in labor, and she was laboring beautifully. It was her third baby, and we got to the hospital. She was pretty far along in the labor process, and she had such a beautiful support team. Her sister was there, and her mother was there. Jessica, it's you. I got a couple Jessicas, but Jessica, the one you know who it is, thank you for this story. So anyway, her doctor was there, which really wasn't her doctor. She had midwives, and her midwife wasn't available. Anyway, the doctor said we need to prep her for getting into the operating room, and we were all really confused because she had 2 vaginal births before, so why were we having to go into the OR? And he said, well, because she is obese, we need to have her go into the OR to deliver her baby. And so that was a very humbling experience for me. The doctor kept looking at me like it was my responsibility to convince her to cooperate, which is absolutely not my responsibility. It's totally her choices, which is a beautiful thing. In this conversation, she was laboring in the tub, and this doctor was so persistent. He started to rattle off all the statistics and the details around that. And humbleness, I think, comes in not the information, the statistics, the research, and blah, blah, blah. It's not about that. Literally within a half an hour after this conversation, this mama came out of the tub and birthed her baby standing up in the room with all the support of her sisters around her. I'm going to get tears in my eyes because it's an amazing thing. And I don't know, and maybe afterwards, maybe this doctor maybe ate a little humble pie. It probably tasted bitter. I would think I would be humbled by like, oh my gosh, I was freaking totally wrong, because this mom, I don't care what her weight was, she birthed her baby how she needed to. So that was one example I was thinking in my head that was so predominant about being humble. So I just encourage you to have a daily dose of humble pie and feel all the taste and the emotions around that, while you're even being able to look at that potential humble pie of a situation and really letting it nourish you as you move through it. On a second note, I'm drinking my SCOBY right here, and I have lots of SCOBY, so if you want a SCOBY, hit me up. Peace out, bliss out, friends.